I'm Pamela Morse, and on Fridays, my new show is called Fun with Folk Medicine. Today we're going to talk about Pythagoras. You've probably heard about him because of his theorem. He says that the sum of the square of this side of a right triangle and this side of a right triangle equals the square of the hypotenuse. He lived before 500 BC, and he had a group of followers called the Pythagoreans. He allowed women equally as men to be Pythagoreans, and they worshipped numbers. They didn't really have numerals. They had to pile pebbles up, but the theory, the idea of numbers was their central theme. They were vegetarians. They were strict, and they believed in evolution and transmigration of souls, so they didn't believe in eating animals at all. They just worshipped numbers and were lacto-vegetarian. They ate a little dairy, but not the cow. They also were opposed to animal sacrifice, which was very popular in Greece at the time. Pythagoras went to Egypt and learned about numbers and came back and taught on the island of Samos, where he was very renowned and he had gained a lot of followers. Until the 19th century, there was no other name for vegetarian diet other than Pythagorean diet. These people were the first health nuts that became famous, partly because of their numbers and theories, and partly because of their health beliefs and soul beliefs. They particularly loved the number 1 because they thought it was the beginning of all numbers. This is a chart I had made for me by a British woman who does numerology. And my numerology is heavily laced with ones. I'm a one person, which was special in Pythagoras' time and special to this British woman. I'm not that well versed, and I don't worship numbers, but I found it interesting that Pythagoras and Hippocrates also recommended ginger. Ginger has been around, used as medicine and in food for a long time. No one really even knows where it originated. And it has to be cultivated to spread. So it could be from Asia and then went to Africa and West Indies. No one really knows. But once it gets started, it does very well. And I particularly love to know that bathing in ginger has a very strong sudorific effect. I tried it this week in an Epsom salt bath, and I was amazed at how much it made me sweat. It changed my life with sweat. So while I was in the hot bath, I was really, and I am a sweat professional. I spend a lot of times in steam rooms. I can't tell you how many hours of my life I've spent in hot water and steam rooms, but this ginger sweat is extra. It's extra potent. And indeed, some people say that if you're getting flu symptoms or something like that, a ginger bath will help cleanse the things out of your body quickly and relieve the symptoms quickly. I wasn't ill, but I took the bath at night, Epsom salts, baking powder, and ginger tea, and I sweated and sweated and sweated after you get out of the bath. You also have to be prepared because you continue to sweat for at least 30 minutes. this effect left me really excellently tired and sleeping deeply. But the reports of ginger's qualities medicinally mean that it's great to bathe in it, like I did, if you want to have the sweat spa down effect. But grating it and using the tea just to drink is also highly recommended. It lowers blood pressure, it relieves arthritis pain in a lot of people. In fact, more rheumatoid arthritis sufferers get relief from drinking ginger tea than the other people. So I think it's an interesting thing to try if you have joint pain. It's used commonly for nausea. If you feel sick to your stomach, I used to take ginger when I wanted to be piloting command in a glider, but it made me sick to go up spiraling. So I used ginger capsules for that, and it completely worked. It took away my nausea. I think it works for morning sickness sometimes for people. And it's anti-inflammatory. So I made a big batch of tea. I'm dumping it in the bath. I dump it in my green tea and drink it internally. You can't go wrong with ginger. So I think it's pretty cool that it's been recommended ever since 500 BC as a medicine. No one seems to think it has harmful side effects. And you can buy it at the grocery store. You just grate it with a box grater, put it in water, bring it to a boil, then simmer the tea for 10 minutes. Let it sit for a long time. Sometimes I let it sit all day. That's fine. Just don't let it sit overnight and get rotten. The longer it sits, the stronger it gets. So in a bath, I used about a cup in my whole bathtub. If you want more intense treatment, obviously you can step it up, but try a cup first, because I think you'll be surprised at how much sudorific effect it has. So I'm recommending ginger for your restorative practice this weekend to release the toxins from your body, lower your blood pressure, take away your pain, improve your digestion, and generally make you feel good. So now, from now on, whenever I drink ginger or take a ginger bath, I'm going to have to remember Pythagorean theorem and number worship. Thanks for joining me.